I will give Shane Dawson credit. I do feel like he really wants to change and become a better person. However, something that I think was his true downfall, and I know this might come off as a little bit like iffy or like hateful, but it's not. I think him getting a little bit closer to Jeffree Star was actually one of the things that led to his downfall. If you really, really want to think about it, if Shane Dawson never did a 9-episode docu-series, if he never released a makeup palette, if he never came in contact with Jeffree Star after he made that first documentary with him, I don't think Shane Dawson would be as in much hot water as he is in now, because when you're associated with Jeffree Star and they think you did something with Jeffree Star, they're going to try to find every and anything to take you down. Not necessarily a targeted assassination, but they will question your character. Because with Jeffree Star, he's done some things that he hasn't addressed that have been actually offensive and actually have hurt people, to the point where he seemed like he ignored it. So all those people that had that anger towards Jeffree, I feel like they directed it towards Shane because they know that Shane Dawson will react, and react is exactly what he did. Hey, what is up, everybody? Yes, I returned to your phone, your computer, your TV, your tablet, your laptop. I don't know what you are watching me on right now, but welcome back. It's me, it's Malcolm, and yes, it's not me. We have footage from the Mean Girls movie that you are seeing right now, because this whole Trisha Paytas, Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, Hair by Jay thing is definitely in the category of what Mean Girls is. So I figured, why not just give you some Mean Girl footage so you can like watch along, listen to my voice while I talk about Trisha Paytas finally cutting off Shane Dawson. Wait. Did I read that right? Hold on. Trisha Paytas ends Shane Dawson? Wait. Hold on. Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson. Okay. Alright, we're doing this. I don't know if you know, but if you need to be caught up just a little bit, just a quick synopsis. Hair by Jay went on this Instagram live after responding to Trisha Paytas, who Trisha Paytas didn't even mention his name. She just talked about a issue with the hairdresser and with payment and stuff. So Hair by Jay then goes on Instagram live for about 25 minutes, just saying the most nasty, vile, disgusting, cruel things you could ever hear another person say about another person. Now, where are we now? Well, Trisha and Jeffree have gotten into it on Twitter until Jeffree ended it with, you have my number, girl, text me. Very passive aggressive. So what happened today? Today, because I'm recording this video today, Jeffree Star tweeted the following this morning. Good morning to everyone except the guy that used to do my hair. Following that tweet with, I always hold people around me accountable. Oh, I have to laugh. Sorry, I'm about to tell you why. I know that's hard for some people to believe, but I'm a grown man, and 2021 will only be full of good energy. If anybody knows, this is such BS by Jeffree Star, because there's no way that Jeffree Star did not know that Hair by Jay was saying all these things about Trisha Paytas. Because if you look at the Instagram live, and I'm not going to show any more clips of it because it is very triggering, but if you just looked at the Instagram live, you could just tell that this Hair by Jay guy, this isn't the first time he said these things about Trisha Paytas. There's no way you just come up with so many insults on the spot where you talk about her skin, talk about her weight, be fatophobic, talk about like her drug abuse, her suicide attempts, her suicide mindset. Like, there's no way that you, Mr. Hair by Jay, there's no way that you just came up with this on the spot. I'm very much inclined to believe that Jeffree has said these things plenty of times before. Yes, he said he apologized, but did he really though? I mean, seriously, did he really? I'm just saying that for like the general public. Because it seems like it was more so covering his butt instead of like actually taking accountability for anything. And that's really what this whole tweet was. It's just, he really wasn't taking accountability. He was just more so, oh, well, he doesn't represent me, so I'm firing him, and also I hold my friends accountable. No, you don't. Because if you did, Jeffree Star, you would have fired him a long time ago, because there's no way, because as someone who does hair, I'm pretty sure y'all gossiped a lot, so there's no way, and I really do mean there's no way this is all news to you. So, for Jeffree Star to say, I hold my friends accountable, I'm sorry, I just don't think that's true, but you can like hate me in the comments for that part. So we got Jeffree Star and his tweets out the way. Now it's time to talk about Trisha Paytas' video from last night and the fact that she blocked Shane Dawson, Ryland Adams, and just basically said that she's going to move on. Now, I'm going to show a lot of clips from Trisha's video because once I listened to the video twice, like I put a lot of things together and a lot of things just like it made sense. So one of the first things I noticed is the fact that Shane Dawson like in a way blatantly lied to Trisha Paytas about his affiliation with Jeffree Star.
I'm so tired of everyone just being like, everything's fine, get over it, all this stuff, because the truth is I'm not over it. It's why I still talk about it a year later. It was one of the most traumatizing things ever, like the mean girl behavior. And again, I didn't say anything for so long because like I knew Shane was friends with Jeffree, and Shane would call me and be like, don't make a video, it'll make things worse. Like, and now like looking back, I see like he had told me originally that he also was scared of Jeffree and was slowly distancing himself from him. And then I see him on the SIP, Ryland's podcast, not once but twice, as recent as last week, then just gushing over him and praising him, when Jeffree Star, in my opinion, is a really nasty, vile person.
Now in that clip, Trisha claims that Shane said that he was distancing himself from Jeffree and that he was also scared of Jeffree, basically like in a way gaslighting Trisha. So the fact that Shane and Ryland were gushing over Jeffree not even like months ago, this was only a few days ago on Ryland's The Sit podcast. So the fact that Trisha had to like watch Shane and Ryland just gush over Jeffree even after like basically pouring her heart out and just telling Shane and Ryland about the situation, which they did know about. I just find that very fake and very disheartening to hear. Something that also didn't help was the fact that it seemed like Shane Dawson was just trying to make this go away, because it seems like on multiple occasions that Shane told Trisha to not make a video because it would make it worse. And the more I think about it, and this is where I'm saying things are starting to connect, the more I think about it, the more it seemed like Shane just didn't want to lose his friendship with Jeffree Star. And if you think about it, it really fits into the movie Mean Girls, and I'm gonna like give you a whole, like, I guess you can call it conspiracy theory or whatever. I'll give that to you at the end, but let's just keep going. Shane Dawson seemed to have texted Trisha Paytas this long-winded, like, hey, let's just come over and you forget about it. And you would think Shane Dawson, being a quote-unquote empath, he would have more compassion for Trisha, but no.
And what really set me off today, and I will no longer support Shane in any way. I'm not gonna hate monger him. I'm not, I truly believed he changed from all the shit he got canceled for. I blindly defended him and all the shit he got canceled for because I was like, that was a long time ago. I never seen that around him. Like, I truly believe he changed. People change. And you know what? He did change from that. And you know what? He also proves that people do change, but not always for the better. That I was... Even today, I was so... beyond having him on the podcast and stuff and telling me one thing, being like, I'm scared of him too. I gotta slowly distance myself, but like, don't make a video, like all that stuff, to like praising him on the podcast. To today, switching tunes, like, well, he was the only one loyal to me, so I clung on to something. That's two different things you're telling me. And then on top of it today, writing me a whole long thing. I'm here if you want to talk, but also if you just want to come over, Postmates, and like, let's just forget the whole thing. Forget the whole thing. This is something that traumatized me for a full year, and Shane and Ryland knew about it 2 days after this happened.
And it doesn't even stop there. Boy, oh boy, does this get worse. So, in the middle of this conversation, it seemed that apparently Shane Dawson seemed to have picked his side, which is Jeffree Star's side. Trisha Paytas and Shane Dawson have been friends for 12 years, and Jeffree and Shane have only been friends for like 3 or 4 years. Really like hyped it up after that documentary. I guess they really kept in touch after that, making them the best of friends, best of business partners. I don't even know what to call them right now. I think they're both snakes, but I continue.
But what really triggered me more than anything today, and it's why I will no longer support Shane, and I stand by it, and it's the hardest, it's the hardest pill to swallow, is because we have been friends for over 12 years. And he told me today, oh, I guess I just wanted to believe the stuff you said about, that Jeffree said about you wasn't true. And like, I was shaking and traumatized by it. I was like smacking food out of my hand, calling me like saying I'm poor and all this stuff. It's like so triggering. And I know I'm 32 and stuff, but like I have so many, clearly I have so many issues, but even if I don't have issues, even if I have no problems, no mental health issues at all, like someone just saying that shit. And Jeffree's like, well, I already apologized, and like, love you, girl, just so.
This is the part where I have the biggest issue. So after Trisha has told Shane and Ryland about this Vegas trip, not even 2 days after, the fact that Shane constantly promotes Jeffree Star on his Instagram stories, and people are constantly trying to say Shane Dawson isn't on social media, that is a complete lie. I've seen so many Instagram stories where Shane like only posts like pictures. He doesn't do like video Instagrams, so he's like doing captions and stuff, meaning that he does have the ability to see what's going on and like react to the situation. And the fact that he chose to stay quiet but also kept promoting Jeffree Star like throughout this whole year that Trisha Paytas has been holding on to this, I find that extremely disrespectful. And in this clip alone, you can hear her say it for yourself.
It is so disgusting that they're so fake, that it's so fake. I am not perfect. I am not perfect, but I am not vile. I am not vile. I don't make fun of people's appearances. I don't make fun of their substance abuse issues. I don't make fun of their weight, their skin, and Shane knew all this. And Ryland, they knew all this. And they continue to promote him. I go so hard to distance myself from anybody that talks shit about them. Anybody. I go so hard.
Another thing I had to pick out from Trisha's video, and I know this is like a clip heavy video, but it puts everything in context, is the fact that I've already mentioned that Shane and Trisha have been friends for 12 years. They're not friends anymore, but we're going to get to that. So the fact that for 12 years, Shane has had Trisha by his side, and she even admits in her own video that she blindly just believed anything that Shane did because, like I said, they've been friends for 12 years. I would think after 12 years you wouldn't really have to question your friend's morals, your friend's judgment, things your friends say, because you wouldn't keep somebody around for 12 years unless you did trust them. So the fact that Shane, like I said, he picked Jeffree because the fact that Shane didn't believe Trisha kind of says a lot. So let me give you this clip right here where you can clearly hear the pain in her voice about how Shane just did not believe her over Jeffree.
And what is just more sad to me is that Shane didn't believe me, his friend of 12 years. And believe someone that he's known for 3 or 4 years that used Shane, because Jeffree had the shittiest reputation when Shane redeemed him, gave him his redemption video, just like Shane redeemed Tana after TanaCon, putting people's lives in danger at TanaCon. He redeemed Jake Paul. He redeemed Jeffree. Jeffree used Shane for that. And maybe Shane used Jeffree too to make a palette and make a bunch of money. And clearly they sold they, like, to me, it's like selling yourself to the devil. The podcast of having Jeffree on there to talk about Kanye and stuff like that, that to me is just the root of all evil. Like, you sold your soul to the devil, you sold out, you don't care how vile someone is. Sorry, I just keep getting text messages. How vile someone is, as long as you can get those views and cash in. It's
Now, I know what you're thinking. How could it get that much worse? Oh, it gets worse because I picked up on one thing, and it'll be the last clip I show, but I have one more to show you. There's one thing that made me so disgusted, and it just made me think about how Shane, in a way, indirectly, but in a way, ruined Trisha's life for the past 3 years, and she never even knew about it. Something about that does not sit right with me. The fact that Shane was rumored to have been talking behind Trisha's back, and this isn't the first time I've heard about this. I can't remember what channel I heard it from, but I did hear that Shane Dawson has talked badly about Trisha before, and Trisha, like, she's already admitted, she blindly, like, refused to accept it, refused to believe it, because, like I've already said, the longer your friendship is, the longer you refuse to just question anything because you're so loyal to them. And Trisha definitely was a loyal friend. So now, hearing that Shane Dawson was talking all these nasty things behind her back as well, which is, of course, mean girl behavior, and I'm still not going to get to that just yet. The fact that mean girl behavior still existed within Shane Dawson is kind of, like, disappointing to hear, because he was known as the good guy for so long, and now even myself, even though I've, like, said I'm not a Shane Dawson fan anymore, the fact that he really had people believe that he was just a good guy, he was an empath, like, he could not be problematic, he was the king of YouTube, that says so much about how manipulative Shane Dawson is.
I've heard for years Shane saying stuff behind my back, and I, like, did not want to believe it, but now I'm seeing it. I don't, like, you know what, he's never publicly stood up for me. That's fine, I get it, I'm problematic, but you're gonna publicly promote and share Jeffree, who's vile, who's been vile to me, your supposed best friend, and act like he's just, what, for money, for the palette, for business to keep going. It's so unbelievably disgusting. And never once did he ever say anything other than, like, oh, come over, let's talk, like, I'm in therapy for this, like, I have problems with this, like, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be manipulated anymore, I'm not.
And the last thing, and this is what really sealed the deal for me in Trisha's video, and I want you to hear it for yourself, but I will give you a quick synopsis before I let you hear it for yourself. Trisha Paytas and Gabbie Hanna do not get along. The reason why they do not get along is because Gabbie Hanna, a couple months ago, I think it was like a year and a half ago by now, a couple months ago, Gabbie Hanna went on this Instagram story talking about how she heard somebody had herpes, and she told that person's boyfriend just to be like, hey, look out, just let you know this is going on, which of course that turned out to be Trisha Paytas when she was with Jason Nash. If you don't know who Jason Nash is, he's part of the Vlog Squad, or he used to be, with David Dobrik. So if you need that much context, there you go. But the reason why Trisha and Gabbie have had this, like, long beef is because she heard that Gabbie Hanna said this Instagram story about her. Now, what makes that significant is I'm going to play this clip for you right here, and I don't even know if Trisha meant to say it or she was just, like, in the heat of the moment, but I'm going to play the clip for you, and I just want you to, like, hear it from her herself.
Because I heard the whole herpes thing from Gabbie came from Shane. That's what I heard. And I'm just like, and that's when they were tight and they were close back in the day. And now I start second guessing everything. And I don't really care anymore. I really don't care. It just really freaking hurts that he just was like, oh, I didn't want to believe it. Like, when I tell you something happened and you're like, my best friend, I have nothing to gain from it. I didn't do a video. Like, at least you could do as my best friend is believe me.
So you heard it from her herself. She believes, like she heard a rumor that Shane Dawson was actually the one that truly started this rumor about her and her sexual health, because he might definitely almost 100% have told Gabbie Hanna about this herpes thing. And if that is true, that is so gross on Shane Dawson's part to even talk about anybody's sexual health. I'm sorry, something about that is so disgusting and gross to me personally, because how can I tell you anything? Why would I tell you anything? That in 12 years of friendship, and Trisha even said it in her video, that she doesn't know what may have gotten out because she told Shane a lot of like personal things. So that's scary to think about, a friend for 12 years ruining your life in a way. I don't know, something about that bothers me so much. She ends the video basically saying, the reason why I made this video is because I blocked Shane and Ryland. I don't want anything to do with them. I just want to move on with my life, have my peace of mind. And in the comments, I'm not going to pull them up for you, but basically in the comments, people are unanimously on Trisha's side. Like I've already said in previous videos, this does not absolve Trisha of anything she's done in her past, but I think we can all agree that was so gross. And Trisha was just, in this situation alone, Trisha was just innocent. She felt so happy to be invited to this Vegas trip, only for it to be the worst moment in her life, according to her. I just find that Shane Dawson really just ruined something good, and Shane Dawson really lost the last person that had his back. So where are we now? Where we now is that video and the tweets from Jeffree Star. That's like the last, I think that will be the last we hear of this Vegas trip, this whole situation. But now I'm gonna get into why this is such a Mean Girl. This is literally like the premise of Mean Girls. If you haven't seen Mean Girls in a while, I haven't seen it myself in a while, but after looking at all the clips, because I grabbed a bunch of clips for this video, probably gonna get claimed, I don't care. The premise of the video is this quote-unquote loser girl gets into the popular group, and it was supposed to just be for fun, for stuff and giggles, and eventually this loser girl turns into the mean girl and pushes away all the friends that had her back. Does that not sound familiar to you? Does that not sound like Shane Dawson, once he got into Jeffree Star's group, got into his circle, Shane Dawson finally got to like be the top dog for once and not feel like a loser like he's always said he's been in his life? So I can definitely see that Shane Dawson was just like, I'm gonna pick Jeffree because he's had my back. When in reality, Shane, Jeffree really hasn't had your back. He put money in your pocket, maybe, but having your back, I highly disagree. Trisha Paytas has stuck her neck out time and time again for Shane Dawson, to the point of she was like the only one like constantly defending Shane. And not even mentioning the fact that Shane redeemed all these terrible people. Jake Paul, Tana Mojo, especially Tana Mojo. Tana Mojo hasn't said anything in defense of Shane, but I'm guaranteed that they're still talking behind the scenes, just like Shane and Trisha are talking behind the scenes. Just the fact that Shane Dawson redeemed all these horrible people, and essentially they got away with whatever they got away with, especially like Tana and Jake Paul. I don't know why those two names keep popping up the most. But even Jeffree Star's redemption it felt unearned. But because it was Shane Dawson at the time, we took his word for it. So now when you look at all those redemption arcs, it doesn't hold that much credibility. Like, did Jeffree Star actually change? He says he has, but honestly, after this Vegas trip thing and just the way he handled his hairdresser, saying, I take accountability for everybody, even though you only take accountability, Jeffree Star, and this is for Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star only takes accountability when it goes public or it looks bad for him. So I can only imagine what Jeffree Star is doing in private. Because if this stuff is public, what do you think he's doing in private? And I'm not saying this for the Jeffree Star fans. I'm saying this for anybody. And I know some people are like, well, I really don't feel bad for Trisha. That's fair. You can say I don't feel bad, but can we also agree that nobody should be talked about this way? That nobody should be feeling any type of way about their past? Nobody should be insulted for their weight, their skin. Like, we should all come to an agreement that that is not okay. This will be one of the few situations I am on Trisha's side on. And some people are like, well, we need to hear from Shane. We need to hear his side. Did you not clearly hear what he said? Because I did. He clearly said, Jeffree Star is my friend and I'm going to take his side. That's what he really said. Because there's no way you're going to be like, oh, don't make a video, it will make it worse. When in reality, it seemed like you didn't want a video because you didn't want to ruin your financial partnership with Jeffree Star. So yeah, y'all can say y'all are best friends, but at the end of the day, Shane, this is for you. At the end of the day, Jeffree Star is going to stab you in the back like he does everybody else. And the fact that you're not seeing it after everything you've learned on YouTube, or so you say, you would think you would pick up that Jeffree Star isn't the best person to be in your life. But that's just me. Once again, it is Malcolm. That's me. I hope this is the last time we ever have to talk about Shane or Jeffree, but it won't be, because even Trisha said herself, Shane's gonna have an amazing comeback, and that's really sad to think about, that even through all this, she just knows that Shane's gonna be forgiven when he does come back. And something about that really does bother me, because like I said, Trisha said it herself. She said sometimes bad people just get away with it. And that like kind of rung with me, because yeah, Jeffree got away with it. Shane's going to get away with it. At the end of the day, they're going to get away with it. So I don't know what to really say about that. We're going to see what happens, but yeah, it's just unfortunate to think about. But once again, it is Malcolm. That's me. Subscription button up here, 2 other videos over there for your own free time. Without further ado, I wish you well, I wish you good health, and I will see you again next time.